So, can I start real estate part time? That is the question. I'm Derek Barnadoe.
And I'm Demo Dalianis, and we're going to answer that question today. Welcome to the Real Estate Game Plan Podcast, where we bring you inspiration, actionable steps, and knowledge to build your game plan to take your real estate business to the next level. My name is Demo.
And I'm Derek, and we are licensed real estate brokers and your hosts for this podcast. Let's get started. As agents here in the state of Georgia, you've gotten your real estate license, you are ready to go. And we were talking about this earlier. Most real estate agents, especially at first, are part-time. They're not full-time. Many of us have another job and we got a real estate license and we have dreams of turning real estate into a full-time career. And real estate is absolutely a career, but it needs to be part-time for now.
Yeah, a lot of agents do that, right? Part-time, I want to go full-time. How do I transition into that in my career? We hear it all the time. And sometimes we hear, the person who just is trying to figure it all out. And so that's what we want to lay out a little bit today, are just some thoughts and ideas if you are a part-time agent or you think that's best for you, or you absolutely have to do it, right? And then how you can transition successfully into being a full-time agent. And so there may not be quite as many differences, as a lot of people think, but we're going to kind of break that down today.
Absolutely, because your license will be the same. Your fees, maybe not your advertising fees, but your base fees are going to be the same. Your MLS access, your e-key access, your
hmm
brokerage firm. Most brokerage firms have a monthly fee in Georgia. You don't always learn that when you
hmm
take your pre-license course.
hmm
Some firms will have you join a local association of realtors, so you're going to have certain things that are going to be in place either way. But to me, it's the amount of time.
hmm
And I do absolutely encourage part time agents to invest the time into learning the tools, learn how to work the MLS, learn how to pull up contract forms, because probably you are going to be limited to after your day job to the weekends
hmm
when you don't have as easy of access to lenders and
hmm
attorneys and just other industry professionals, brokers. So you really do want to invest that time in it so that you can be successful when you have that opportunity. It
Yeah.
is like, I mean, it's basically having two jobs,
Yeah.
but you can do it.
Yeah, you're right, Derek. I think the key word there you said is invest, and whether it's part time or full time, you're investing into your future. You're investing into now. The worst thing that you can do as a new part time agent is have someone that knows, likes, and trusts you, like Derek was saying. Most likely, your first client who wants to buy or sell a property, and probably more buy a property. And Saturday night at 9 p.m., they say, "Let's write an offer." And now what? You've never pulled up forms or gone to any of our classes or anything like that, so you're kind of behind it, and so that's where that investment part of into your business, into your skill set comes into play, and so it can be very, very difficult for an agent, a new agent, regardless part time or full time, but investing that time in the beginning. And I can't remember my exact grade in accounting, but I think what you described earlier is what they'll call fixed cost, right? So
Yes.
regardless if you're part time or full time, you have those fixed costs that are in that business. So the key point there is, even if you're part time, if you're thinking about slowly siphoning away some hours from your other career in putting it into real estate, there's a ramp up period for your real estate career, whether you're jumping in part time or full time, and it may be 3, 6, 9, 12 months, right? Before you get to a point where you feel comfortable with real estate. You have maybe a steady flow of reaching out and prospecting. So you really have to think about that, and think about even going in part time into real estate, of what your reserves look like. You definitely want to have some funds available to cover some of those fixed expenses.
Yes. And for most of us, our first few deals that we do are probably going to be our close family and our friends. And it's really after that. And I want to encourage everyone, if you are a part time agent, still have those goals, to still have a schedule,
hmm
because even though you may consider yourself part time, you don't want to be a secret agent, right? So you're still going to be posting on social media. Maybe you're going to be making videos for TikTok or Instagram, and you're just going to kind of work whatever leads just naturally flow in. But I still want you to have a goal of so many closings or so many leases, whatever your genre may be,
Hmm.
within that first 6 months, within that first year, and then maybe slowly ramp up that goal. Because if you are thinking about making that transition from part time to full time, you need to have a plan, a
Hmm.
reasonable plan to get there.
That's right. Yeah, you mentioned friends and family, and that's what the industry refers to as sphere of influence, right? But also that includes people that you work with, maybe currently, right? We're not legal counsel, so check any contracts or employee agreements you have. But work people that you've worked with, people that are part of a hobby group that you have. Maybe you work out at a certain place, or you're a drone pilot and you hang out with other drone pilot people, or whatever it is that you like. Those are people probably that already know, like, and trust you, just maybe not in a real estate capacity yet. And so making sure that they know you've become a real estate agent. We've touched on in a lot of different sessions about how to bring that up and in a way that is from a helpful standpoint. And so we really want to make sure that we have their information, send them updates, put them on an FMLS or MLS, um, home search, right? And even if they're a potential seller 5 years down the road, they probably want to know all the details of their neighbor or the neighbor three houses down that is selling their property and then sold their property, what it went for. So just saying, hey, I want to set up a neighborhood search for you in that neighborhood that you live in, so you can keep an eye on everything. Or if they're a buyer, then that's the easy one, right? Where are you looking? Let's start talking about that, and I can put some home searches in front of you. So there are always ways to do that. There's a lot of ways to generate business as a part-time or a full-time agent. We won't go into full details and all of that right now. That's for another time. But definitely thinking about that transition, you want to have leads and a steady flow of those, and typically it's going to start with your sphere of influence.
Yes, and don't take for granted, talking about sphere of influence, that everyone in your sphere of influence, including your friends and your family, that they are going to use you. Because, and that's one reason why we always say don't be a secret agent,
Hmm.
because that's one of the worst feelings you can have.
Yes.
And so many of us have had it when we find out that a neighbor or a friend or family member used someone else
Hmm.
to purchase or sell a property, and we could have been the one that help them. And as you mentioned, there are so many ways to do it, and so many ways are automated. But when we've talked about this in other episodes, but it's that one-on-one interaction.
Yes.
You kind of need all of it,
Hmm.
and certainly social media has its place. But that one-on-one interaction, basically, don't be afraid to ask for their business.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And one thing that can help a new agent, um, y- you know, be more comfortable and more confident when they're speaking to people about real estate is really just the data. I like to think of it as the great equalizer. You can have experienced agents who have bought and sold and helped clients through hundreds and hundreds of transactions. But if they're not keeping up with what's happening today in this marketplace, with mortgage rates, with what's happening in the neighborhoods, in the areas, in the school systems, even, right? Then maybe that new agent comes in, knows all of those things, and can be more confident, and then in turn help people once they learn how to write the contracts and those type things. Those are kind of the bigger hurdles, right? So a
Right.
new agent who knows the area, knows the school systems, knows the rankings for all of these things, and knows the home values, what they what home values are doing, what interest rates are doing, and then takes our great classes here, especially the ones that Derek produces, and learns how to write a contract. Then you're in a great spot, part time, full time, whatever. If you're new and you conquer both of those type things, then when you go speak to that sphere of influence, they're not going to look at you like, wait a minute, didn't you just get your license last week? You're going to be able to say, yes, I did. But look, let me tell you about this area, this neighborhood. Here's the buyer brokerage agreement. Here's these things, the listing agreement if it's on the sell side. So you're going to be able to speak more confidently, and be able to actually, you know, appear and be a real estate professional.
Absolutely. And one of the great things about our industry is you don't have to wait until you have a client. You can do so much ahead of time,
Hmm.
preparing yourself, from filling out contract forms. Yes, they're fill in the blank and
Hmm.
so forth, and every transaction's different, but you're going to get into a rhythm of it, and
Hmm.
maybe you do a couple of practice examples that we have available. We have available for
Yes.
solid source agents on the broker team. We're always happy to look at drafts of these types of things before you
Yes.
have your live one. We're happy to look at your live transaction as well. But yeah, don't wait. Looking at the market data, those are
Hmm.
all things that just are going to help to boost you up and build your confidence.
Yeah, definitely a building, building blocks for your real estate future. And even if you're deciding you're going to be part time the whole time in real estate, that's up to you. You have that ability here at Solid Source to be a part time agent, be a full time agent, be an investor, commercial teams, all of those great things. So you get to choose your real estate lifestyle. We're here to support it. And the great thing about being a part time agent is at Solid Source is that you receive all of the benefits that a full time agent would from day one. Same commission plan, same great broker support. So, take advantage of it because you have full access to everything. And then as you transition into that full time real estate career, if you want to, there are different times for that. We're always happy to chat with you about that, about your real estate business, transitioning into something else, or how to think about your business, how to focus on a certain area or neighborhood or type of client. We're always happy to do that.
Yes, and I would even venture to say that it's significantly easier to be a new agent at or a part-time agent, but new part-time agent at Solid Source than any other brokerage firm in Georgia because of the on-demand trainings
Hmm.
that we do have. Our commission plan is so fair
Hmm.
that new agents benefit from the same commission plan as a seasoned agent would, just helping to get you to that goal of being full-time faster.
Definitely, definitely. So, we'd love to hear from you. Hear any questions or comments that you have. Please let us know. I'm Demo,
I'm Derek.
and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Game Plan podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for listening.